welcome back to another video. I'm Steven Reyes, head technician at Bellator CyberGuard. In this video, we'll talk about some of the different publications you can review for IRS recommendations as far as cybersecurity goes, some different best practices, training material, a lot of different things to use to help better protect your organization from cybersecurity threats and get everything you would need to know as far as WISP creation as well. So we'll start with 4557. This publication is titled Safeguarding Taxpayer Data. So it's exactly as it sounds. It gives you different security measures recommended by the IRS, different controls to take and implement to protect your data. It also discusses phishing awareness, things to be aware of as far as phishing and internet safety, some best practices there. The FTC safeguards rule is mentioned as well, and which essentially outlines the requirement for a WISP, a written information security plan. That there is a video I have up on around creating a WISP and everything, a deeper dive into that. But this is where the rule for that, you'll find the rule for that mentioned. It's not the only place, but that's what the FTC safeguards rule is around. And reporting and responding to data loss, what to do during a data loss incident, how to respond to that, and who to report it to. Next, 1075. So this has standards for handling taxpayer data. So it's a more in-depth document than 4557 as far as different access control methods, authentication methods, different training requirements for personnel. It has more in-depth incident response procedures, personnel security, kind of granting and removing access, what processes to go through for new employees, as well as discusses the risk assessment requirement and how to kind of go about that, really like identifying risk, analyzing the risk, mitigating the risk, and then reviewing for additional risks. But everything you need to know there, a lot more in-depth look at a lot of these different controls and security measures. NIST 800-53. NIST stands for the National Institute of Standards and Technology. This is a long document, almost 500-page document, all around security and privacy controls. So this really comes in handy when you're doing your risk assessment, and really no matter what size organization you are, whatever risk you're facing, if you need a control or a mitigation technique for one of your risks, this is a perfect place to look. You'll get a ton of different controls with detailed instructions on how to mitigate said risk and how to implement said control. For example, if you need to know how to dispose of physical PII, the NIST has a whole section on specific ways to destroy physical PII down to what the shredder should cut the paper like, what the dimensions of the shred should be like, how wide each strand of shredded piece of paper, right? So very specific and in-depth controls for really any risk you can think of. It also includes different incident handling procedures, ways to go about responding to incidents, and detailed training guidelines. The training information is great in there, very useful in there as well if you're developing a training program for your organization. Okay, last but certainly not least, the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, or GLBA. This is really where all the law is outlined in the GLBA. So all of the laws regarding having a WISP in place, a lot of the time I meet people that are tax preparers that are surprised that a WISP is a federal requirement, right? And it's actually a felony to be preparing taxes and not have a WISP in place. This is where that's outlined and kind of law, right? So be familiar with the GLBA. Within the GLBA, you'll be led to Title 16, Chapter 1, Subchapter C, Part 314. That's where you'll get a lot of the specific requirements as far as encryption at rest and in transit, having continuous monitoring or penetration testing, what continuous monitoring actually looks like, what needs to be logged, and kind of the activity and what those logs look like. Having 2FA in place, at least when accessing PII, and especially all of the WISP elements. So if you're creating your own WISP and want to know what should be included in that WISP, this is a great place to look. I would Google that Title 16, Chapter 1, Subchapter C, Part 315. That'll lead you to the ecfr.gov website, where they have a perfect outline of all of this stuff and a section completely on WISP elements and all of the everything that should be included within your WISP. But that's everything for this video. Definitely be familiar with these 4 publications. If you haven't already, definitely check out our WISP more in-depth video on WISPs and creating a written information security program. We go into kind of everything that should be included in there. And that's everything I got for you. Thanks for watching and have a great day.